All right, this is another video sponsored by Simple Mobile. So if you guys don't remember what it is, again, it's a phone service that actually lets you save money on your cell phone bills. All you need to do is have a GSM phone, go and purchase a Simple Mobile SIM card, put it in your phone, and then go online and activate a plan. Hence the term simple. It's very easy to do. So if you're interested in finding out more about Simple Mobile, I'm gonna go ahead and throw an annotation on the screen right here, and also in the description box below. There will be a link if you wanna save money and keep things simple with the Simple Mobile plan. Now let's get on to the video. What's up everybody, welcome back. Brandon again here in my kitchen. No food just yet, but I wanted to just go ahead and make this quick intro before we head off to the gym and show you guys. I am wearing the Campbell Fitness tank tops. I don't think I've actually shown these in a video. A lot of you guys have gotten them. We do have a couple of extra ones left. I think maybe only larges. There might be a couple of extra larges out there for you guys that are really staying big, but I think Forged Iron Training is having a site-wide sale because they're trying to clear out all their inventory, so they might even be a little bit cheaper than we initially offered. So if you're interested in them, go pick them up. I appreciate it either way. If you don't want to wear them, you don't want to support me, that is fine. It just hurts my feelings. But luckily enough, I am quite robotic, so I don't have any feelings. Anyways, I got this tank top on and I'm gonna run some errands before I go to the gym, which should be interesting only because I always feel a little bit douchey wearing a tank top. Maybe it's the tattoos or maybe it's just I'm a douche. Either way, I don't know. But some other stuff, what I gotta do is, I have this big stein full of change and a lot of this is quarters. So it's not just pennies, but as part of that, I wanna go turn this in. So I think I'm gonna go do that in this video. So take a guess of how many coins, how much dollars, strong English are in there. I'm also sending off some more PS4 games, so Diablo 3. I'm done with this. To be honest, I only really like playing the campaigns in games, and I know that makes a lot of these games really short because this is more of just collecting loot and leveling up your character. I'm not really too interested in doing that. So I sold this on eBay, played through the campaign, I beat it, and I think, when did it come out? Oh my gosh, that sun is really bright and this makes me look even more pale. That is terrible. Let's see if we can fix that for you guys. That is still terrible. Looks like I have a spotlight on my face, which is never good for the channel. There you go, that's a little bit better. But so for this game, I wanna say what, it came out 2 weeks ago or so. So I spent $60 on it and I sold it on eBay for $45 plus shipping on top of that for like $4. So in reality, it ended up costing me like $15, which I'm completely fine with. And I know a lot of you had some comments about the secondhand game market and about how it doesn't really put money in the developers' pockets, but kind of selfish. And it's all about me. You guys should know that by now. So $15 for Diablo 3 for a new game, that's not bad. Destiny actually comes out tomorrow. Probably gonna try to pick that up. We'll see. I'm not gonna have a lot of time recently. Again, there's some stuff going on over here, which you guys should actually probably find out about this week, I wanna say. So potentially some big changes coming up. We'll see what's going on. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's go turn in that change. So before we get to that, if you wanna go ahead and comment in the section below if you wanna take a guess, you can. If anyone is exactly right, actually, I can't say that because you guys will just watch the video then guess the thing. So I was gonna do some kind of a prize, but you all cheat, I'm on to you. So we'll check you soon. All right, so outside the gym, obviously, hopefully I just flashed something on screen that shows you how much was actually in that jar. Now, unfortunately, because you guys are all cheaters, I can't give anyone the winning stakes here, but just know inside that if you guess that amount, I'm proud of you, son. But anyways, deadlift day today, got some speed singles to do and I'm sure some deficit work. Again, I don't really look at these until I get in, so it's kind of a surprise to me, which is nice and also scary at the same time. So we're gonna get in and do it and we'll see you guys in there. All right, so as already stated, today was a speed pull day, so we used 455 for 10 sets of 1. Now last time I did speed pulls, we used 405. And I gotta say, my goal today was just to move the weight as fast as possible, and to be honest, it didn't really feel like it was moving that fast. Now looking at these clips, I think the weight moved all right. I can see a lot of issues here, and I think that's one of the problems I run into when I run into speed day as is. So the first problem is the fact that I always want to go heavier, and when you're doing speed pulls, you should ideally go lighter. Obviously, first of all, so the weight moves better, but also because that's what you're really trying to work on there is your explosiveness, and you can't do that if you use too heavy of a weight. But my instinct is telling me go heavy, go heavy, go heavy. So I'm trying to back off. So I'm not jumping up too far ahead of myself, I don't think here. But as part of this, as I see these single pulls, what I'm looking at is looking at all the things I can fix, and I see a lot of issues. As I've stated already, one of the things that I find is my first rep on multi-rep sets always looks a little rough. It's the second and third reps that always look the best. So there's some reps here that I feel look okay. There's also ones that I don't think look okay at all. I then, in this example, forgot to zoom out the actual camera so you get all zoomed up, but on the bright side, maybe this will make for a good thumbnail. So 10 sets of 1. I actually ended up doing 11 because I forgot to film one, so I wanted to give you guys a full 10. We then moved on to 6 sets of 2 for pause squats. So at this point, my hips are feeling pretty tight. Now, I didn't do the same mobility work that I normally do on squat day. Didn't know that I was doing squats until I looked at my workout, and I'd already been doing deadlifts, so that was my bad. And the first set here of 225 is all a little bit high, so my hips were really tight. So what I did is, in between some of these sets, is do some of the frog stretches you guys saw in that Chris Duffin video, and those were very painful, but I think they helped a little bit. And as we worked up, you can see each set progressively my depth gets better and better and better. So here we have 275 again, set of 2 for pauses. Now, I thought about doing those 5-second pauses that I did last week, but because we're doing 6 sets of 2, I didn't really want to do that at this point. My back was kind of feeling it, and I was just kind of tired, even though we did speed work. So here's the next set at 315, again, sets of 2, really trying to find my groove here. And these ones are okay in my opinion. You can also notice I haven't put on my knee sleeves just yet, still wearing on my calves. However, that is going to change as we get heavier and heavier. So for 365, I threw those knee sleeves on. I still haven't at this point, however, slapped on that belt, really trying to work on my core strength. And that's one of the things that I do when I work with what I would consider lighter weights. So unless I'm over 400 pounds in squats and at least over 500 pounds in deadlifts, for the most part, if it's part of my warm-up progression, I'll leave my belt off and I'll leave a lot of these appliances, so to say, off because I want to work on that. However, once I do hit the heavy working set, so 405 here, I do throw on the belt in this case. However, I did not throw on the wrist wraps. So again, felt good with these, and 405 isn't anything groundbreaking for me. However, given the fact that I already did a full deadlift workout, again, I'll take it at this point. Also, shout out to the kid in the background at this point wearing those Reebok CrossFit Light TRs. He has those gray canvas versions. You guys know I have the leather versions. They're looking pretty fresh, and I'm wearing the low tops here. This is my top working set of the day, 445 for a set of 2. I was not happy at this point, but I was feeling it. So I did this. I then did 5 sets of 10 for stiff-legged deadlift. I didn't film that, but you can follow me in Fitocracy and see everything I do each and every day. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again. I don't know why I did that because this is going on in another video, which I already did the whole, hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. This is Brandon again. But in this part of the video, I want to talk a little bit about what my plans are in terms of powerlifting meets and my own current weight. Only because I get questions on that in several videos and Instagram posts and all sorts of stuff. I figured I'd kind of nip it in the bud here. That way I wouldn't have to answer a lot of questions. But I know you guys pretty well. So I know a bunch of you are going to leave in the comment section below, hey, when is your next powerlifting meet? And hey, how much do you weigh? Maybe both, maybe one or the other. I know you too well. So, you bastards. But to answer that question, my next powerlifting meet ideally is going to be in December. Now, initially I had looked at one in October, but the problem is it actually fell on a day that one of my good friends is getting married. So I kind of can't not go to that. And powerlifting meets take the whole damn day, so it just didn't work out. I thought I might be able to do both. It's not going to be the case. So in this case, December is what we're looking at. And it kind of sucks only because where I live in Rhode Island, there's not a lot of powerlifting meets within the state. There is their own federation here called the RIPL, the Rhode Island Powerlifting Association, even though there's no A on the name. I think that's what it's called, or maybe just Rhode Island Powerlifting. They have meets every now and then. That was actually the one I was supposed to do back in the spring that ended up getting canceled because not a lot of people signed up for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go outside of the state. So this one in December I'm looking at is in Mass. There's actually 2 in December. I have to narrow it down which one I wanna do, if not maybe both. The federations are somewhat weird. They're not ones I'm overly familiar with, but I don't really care at this point. Just wanna compete, get on the platform, and get back to training. So I think that's how we're gonna work it with Mike. We'll probably do a couple of heavy cycles before getting to the meet. And when I say cycles, I mean lifting cycles, not drug cycles. I'm not that exciting. Plus my physique doesn't really show it. And speaking of my physique, I got some shit on my shirt that I just noticed. Strong laundry game. Speaking of my physique, talking about my weight, I'd like to do this next meet at 220. So my goal right now is to cut down to around 220, probably a little bit under, and just get my strength up at this body weight. What I don't want to do is spend a lot of time at a heavier weight and having to cut weight last minute to try to get down. In that case, my strength would more than likely be affected. At least that's what I've found in the past. Now, just some updates on how my weight has been this year. When I was working with Dan, because we did 30 weeks, so 10 3-week cycles back to back to back, We worked very heavy, as you guys saw. In some cases, we were squatting 4 times per week. My body was getting the shit beat out of it, literally. I did not feel good. I had bruises on my knees. I couldn't sit down for more than half an hour without getting my knees sore. Probably wasn't the best programming decision on my part to do all that stuff back to back to back without taking adequate time off in between, as well as kind of manipulating some of the heavier percentages. But lesson learned, and I know better now. Not to mention I did get really strong on those cycles, so I can't really complain that much because it definitely worked. But as part of that, I got up to about 245 pounds. As of today, this video, I weigh roughly 224 pounds. So 20-pound weight loss in that time. It's fluctuated a bit, but recently it's been more averaging out to be around 225. I figure by this time next month, we'll probably be averaging each day 220. And I say averaging just because some days a little bit less, some days it's a little bit more, some days it's a lot more if it's the weekend and I really don't pay attention to what I eat and I drink a lot of booze, which happens occasionally. Not too often, but occasionally it does happen. I am no angel, my friends, despite what you might think or have heard. Just kidding, I'm pretty boring. But that's my plan. So compete at 220, and for me, I'm looking at more than likely 217, 218, 219. So I'm not going to be on the low end of the 220 class. I'll be on the very high end. But at that point, I can feel confident in my strength as well as confident in my physique and aesthetics. And I say that only because at 240, although my recovery is better and my strength's probably a little bit better, didn't really feel good about me, about myself. Again, strong English. This is why I don't like to do these videos. I'm not very good at talking, although some might argue differently, but don't really think these things through. So for that, I don't really feel comfortable with my body at 242. It sounds like a teenage girl's problem, but hey, what are you gonna do? So again, my goal, December, 220 class, and try to get the highest total I can, hopefully around 1,500. If I fire on all cylinders and I hit what I think I can hit, I should be able to do that. The actual highest I've ever done in a meet is 1,425, but that was with missing pretty much all of my deadlift attempts. I got my opener, but then I just did poor planning and it was a tough day otherwise. So I'm looking to get 1,500 in my next meet, which at 220 for me, being old and not very aesthetic and not very strong as is, I would be very happy with. So that's my plan. I'll keep you guys up to date as you go, but just in case you were wondering, which I'm sure you were, which is the reason I made this video. I'm rambling now, that's it, we'll cut it. As always, everybody, thanks so much for watching. In the meantime, stay big.